So, hello everybody. Welcome to our first class in chemistry. Welcome and welcome. Now, in this class, we are going to be talking about a few basics on this class. So, what we are going to be explaining in this class is we are going to be explaining what chemistry is. We are going to talk about the branches of chemistry. Then we'll now talk about the first fundamental topic, which is also the foundation, which is called element, compound, and mixture. Element, compound, and mixture. So this video, I think, will be very short. So first, let's talk about what is chemistry. Now, right, chemistry is the study of matter, its properties, how and why substance combine with other substance. Chemistry studies about matter and its properties of matter. With time, we'll be talking about some properties of compound. That's the matter we are talking about, because we know that matter is anything that has mass and occupies space, and matter is basically under O level in three form: solid, liquid, and gas, right? So we'll be studying properties of some compound. We'll be studying how compound combine. That's why we said it is study of matter, its properties, and how and why substance combine to form another substance. So in our next classes, we'll be talking about why substance combine. Those substance can be elements, why element combine with another element, and how they do so to form a compound, or why compound combine. That is why compound combine, how they combine with other compound, how they split, how the molecules of those compounds combine with the molecules of another compound to form another compound, or how a compound can be splitted to form different compounds. This is what we are going to be explaining. All right. It also deals, are you getting it? You can write it down. It also deals with the properties. We have talked about that. Composition and transformation they undergo, and the energy that is released. When we talk about chemical reaction, endothermic and exothermic reaction, we'll be talking about the heat involved in chemical reactions. These are we have been talking about the transformation, how compound can transform from solid, how a compound can transform from solid to liquid, or how a substance can transform from liquid to solid, or from gas. Anyone will be doing all of this in this class, right? Now, let's talk about a topic very important. Areas, the areas, this is subtopic, sorry. Areas or branches of chemistry. They are very large or many areas as far as chemistry is concerned, but we are going to be listing out just few. What can we study with chemistry? Why is chemistry very important? Now, the first area of chemistry I'll talk about is called physical chemistry. Physical chemistry. The next area of chemistry is organic chemistry. The third area is inorganic chemistry. Inorganic chemistry. The fourth one I will talk about is analytic chemistry. The first one is biochemistry or biological area of chemistry. Biochemistry is another area of chemistry. And the last one is chemical engineering. Chemical engineering. Those are the branches and area we can explain. There are more and more, but in this our O-level course or in this playlist, we are just going to be concerned with physical, organic, and inorganic chemistry. We are going to be concerned with physical, organic, and inorganic chemistry. Don't worry, with time you begin to understand in detail physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and organic chemistry. Now, let's go to the next aspect of our course. And the next aspect of our course is very important, and this is the basic foundation. Remember, we have defined matter, we have defined chemistry. Now, we are talking about the areas. Let's talk about a subtopic titled elements. Are you getting it? Compounds and mixture. Elements, compounds, for those writing Jamb or writing JEE exam or preparing for any exam. Elements, compound, and mixture. I'll be going to the main point. Let me explain what we mean by element. What is an element? An element is a substance that cannot be separated into any simpler substance by chemical method or chemical process, which means that an element, you can also write it down like this, that an element is the simplest substance that cannot be broken down by any chemical method. Write it down. It's the simplest substance that cannot be broken down by any chemical method. Are you getting it? It's the simplest substance, the unit substance that cannot be broken down by any chemical method. Don't worry, with time you begin to understand more about this. Now, for a quick review, let's talk about the first 20 elements. The first one is hydrogen. The symbol is H. The next one is helium. The symbol is He. The next one is lithium. The symbol is Li. The next one is beryllium. The symbol is Be. The next one is boron. The symbol is B. The next one is carbon. The symbol is C. The next one is nitrogen. The symbol is N. The next one is oxygen. The symbol is O. The next one is fluorine. The symbol is F. The next one is neon. The symbol is Ne. The next one is sodium. The symbol is Na. The symbol is that they were derived from a Greek word called natrium. I think it is Greek. You can do your own research. So sodium was translated from the word natrium. Right? It has a name in the Greek called natrium. Well, you can. I'm not really sure if it's Greek or what language was translated from, but I believe it's Greek. You can also do your research. After sodium, the next one is magnesium, which is Mg. After magnesium, the next one is aluminium, Al. After aluminium, the next one is silicon, Si. After silicon, the next one is phosphorus, P. After phosphorus, the next one is sulfur, S. After sulfur, the next one is chlorine. After chlorine, the next one is argon. After argon, the next one is potassium, K. And the reason why we call it K is because it was derived from the word, or it has a word meaning from another language other than English called kalium, which means potassium is also called what? Kalium. So we take the sorry Callium, kalium. After kalium, the next one is calcium. Remember, potassium is the English word. The next one is what? Calcium, which symbol is C. So this is the first 20 elements. If you don't really know them sequentially, after this class, write them down and take some time to memorize them. It is very important. Memorize them according to their sequence. Let us repeat them again. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, and argon, potassium, and calcium. Now, there is another way you can memorize this, which is he has large brain but cannot offer full 9 subjects, making all science people suffer cancer after kicking Carol. He has large L, brain B, but B can C, not N, offer O, full F, 9 N, subject S for sodium, making magnesium M, all A, aluminium, science S, people P, sulfur S, cancer C for chlorine, after A for argon, kicking K for potassium, Caro. If you like it, you can do it like that. You can use that mnemonics. You can write it down. He has large brain but cannot offer full 9 subjects after making all science students suffer cancer after kicking Kano. He has large brain but cannot offer full 9 subjects, making all science people suffer cancer after kicking Kano. Alright, so we see that these are the first 20 elements. Don't worry, when we get to atomic configuration, when we begin to talk about valency, we go deep and we even go into the first 35 elements. So an element, let us recall the definition of an element. An element is the simplest substance that cannot be broken down by any chemical method. Now remember, let us add another thing to it. An element, are you getting it, is composed by only one type of atom. Only one type of atom composed of an element. Don't worry, when we begin to talk more about atomic combination, we go more about this. What is the next one? The next one is called a compound. Compound. A compound, are you getting it? Is a substance which is made up of 2 or more elements. Are you getting it? A substance is a substance. A compound is a substance that is made up of 2 or more elements chemically combined. Those elements, which is 2 or more, must combine chemically. If they don't combine chemically, that means it's not a compound. A compound is made up of 2 or more elements chemically combined. For example, let's take water for example. You know that the chemical formula for water is H2O. It's very popular, right? Now, from this, we can see that 2 hydrogen came together. We have 2 hydrogen came together. Hydrogen, are you getting it? 2 hydrogen and water and oxygen. So we have hydrogen, then what? Oxygen. From this now we can see that two elements came together, which is hydrogen, are you getting it? And oxygen. In this case now it is a compound, right? Now what of table salt? NaCl. NaCl. You just discovered that we are combining the first 20 elements we just learned just now. We discovered that in this place now we have an element called what? Sodium, and in this place we have an element called chlorine. Sodium and chlorine were combined together. Since there is not one element standing alone, there are two elements standing alone. In this case, it is not an element ordinary. It is called a compound. It is called what? A compound. Another example I can give is hydrogen tetraososulfate, cis acid, H2SO4. From this now we can see that there are more than two elements here. We have hydrogen combining with sulfur, combining with oxygen to form a compound. You discover that from this case now we have the full clearer picture of what a compound is. A compound is formed when two or more elements are combined chemically, and the process of them combining chemically is called chemical reaction. The process they undergo to combine chemically, write it down, it is very important. The process element undergo to combine chemically, it is called chemical reaction. With time we'll begin to explain the mechanics of the workings of how this chemical reaction take place. Alright, so we discovered that this is hydrogen, right? Two hydrogen were bound together. Don't worry, we'll talk about this H2. It is under a topic called covalent bonding. We'll talk about that. Combined with sulfur, combined with what? Oxygen to form one compound. For example, let's take let's give a live example to explain this. In your building, for you to build a house successfully, if you take one type of material, you will not be successful. Let's say I want to make a building. What will I do? I will need to bring sand together, bring water together, bring cement together, and mix them. Because if I just bring them together, nothing will happen. I have to mix them. And in the process of mixing them, they form another material entirely different from their individual property. They create another property. That is how compound is. Different elements come together. And like the example I give, like mixing those cements, the process of mixing those elements is called what? Chemical reaction. They combine chemically. If they don't combine chemically, then the compound they will form will not be successful. Alright, I think we are done talking about compound. The next thing we'll talk about now is mixture. Somebody say mixture. What is a mixture? What is a mixture? We have explained elements, we have explained compounds. Now we want to explain mixture. Mixture is similar to a compound, but the difference between compound and mixture is that mixture is made up of two elements that is physically combined. Sorry, mixture is made up of two substances, not elements. Two substances generally. It can be element, but let us generalize it. Mixture is made up of two substances that is what? Physically combined. They are not chemically combined, which means that they don't undergo chemical reaction to form the resulting substance. Which means when two substances come together, they don't react chemically. They don't undergo chemical reaction to form what is about to come out. they undergo physical reaction. They just come together without no chemical reaction. And in this process, what is resulted is called what? A mixture. It's called what? A mixture. An example of a mixture is Gary inside water. Is a mixture. Example of a mixture is oil on top kerosene. It's not a compound, it's a mixture because there is no reaction involved. Another example of a mixture is when I pour sand inside water. It's a mixture. Are you getting it? Now listen very carefully. Let us talk about some differences between mixture and element. An element combine chemically while mixture combine physically. An element can be easily reversed to the normal state, but a mixture can be easily reversed to the normal original constituent substance, but a compound is hardly reversed to the constituent elements that form it. So what form a mixture can be easily reversed. For example, when I pour Gary inside water, I can easily reverse it. How do I do that? When I take a filter and filter out the water, then I dry the Gary substance. What happens is that I have separated the substance into their individual nature. But when I react two chemicals together, or when a compound is resulted from a chemical reaction, it is very hard to go back to its original form. Even there are substances that cannot go back to this original form. And the types, what we call those substances, are called irreversible reaction. Those reactions that cannot come back to their original state are called irreversible reaction. While the substance that can come back to the original state is called reversible reaction. We'll do more on that when we get to rate of chemical reaction. So thank you very much. I think we have successfully talked about our first topic in chemistry. What I want you to know is know the difference between element, compound, and mixture. Know the definition of chemistry, the area, the branches of chemistry, and also I want you to memorize the first 20 elements, because in our next class we'll be talking more about mixture and separation techniques. More about mixture and separation techniques. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. God bless you.